Are you stalling right now?
Stalling? Stalling. No, Annie. In fact, you're gonna wish I was stalling. Oh, I just got it. Thank you.
Oh.
What is up, guys? It is Keegan here, and today I'm bringing you guys week 3 of the NCP. We are currently 2-0 after beating both Emil and Tony, and today we play against Olivia to go 3-0 on the season. That would be a big result if we can get it. 3-0, I mean, at this point, 3-0 would not lock playoffs virtually, in a sense. You know, would have to probably win one of the next 5 games. But I think it would be a good way to, I guess, mentally get back into the swing of things for Draft League. I feel like every time I play, I stumble out of the gate and make it hard for myself near the end, and 3-0 would definitely give me some wiggle room to make sure that, you know, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself until those big playoff games come. Before we get into the team matchup, quick shout out, if you guys have not already, to make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. That's the easiest way to support the channel and keep the Draft League videos coming. I don't know how many Draft Leagues I'm going to do, honestly. I don't think my next one will probably be until the new generation comes out, but if you guys enjoy these videos, you know, the support is always appreciated. So now let's get into Liv's team here, and Liv, as you see here, has a stall team. Primarily a stall team around Clefable, Skarm, Bliss is kind of the main stall core that she has. Rhyperior can fit in those roles as well. And then the main threat to my team this week is going to be that Ice core, that Kyurem, Alola-Ninetales and Arctozolt. It's really hard for me to switch in on one of them, let alone the combination of all three. So that's going to pose a really difficult challenge in this matchup, and that's kind of what the matchup is going to be based around. Once we get into the team builder, dealing with those 3 primary ice threats. Naturally, my team is really good against stall. Torn-T and Cinderace particularly are 2 Pokemon that handle stall teams very well. Clefable can't switch into either of them. Skarmory can't really switch into either of them in theory, but Skarmory can pressure out some Torn-Ts with Toxic Protect leftovers, can deal with some heat waves. And then stuff like Blissey certainly can't come into something like Cinderace. And, you know, there are, you know, potential for Superpower Torn-T, but we won't be running that this week. You'll see what we do end up running this week. I don't know if I mentioned the team builder. I probably do. But the 5 Pokemon I expect her to bring will be the Kyurem, Alola-Ninetales, the Arctozolt, and then Skarmory and Rhyperior I think will come along as well. And then once she fills out her last slot, I'll be interested to see. But enough for rambling on here. Let's get into the team builder. This is a very long video, as you guys can tell. As you know, we're playing against stall. It's definitely going to take its time. Alright, we are here now with the team builder portion of the video. As you guys saw, the team that Liv has is very difficult to prep for, mainly because the main threat of stall, you know, which is the primary team archetype that she has, is kind of counteracted by the fact that she's got a really good ice core against my team. Kyurem, Arctozolt, and Alola-Ninetales. Alola-Ninetales not so much, actually. Doesn't really do a lot against my team specifically, but Arctozolt and Kyurem have a field day in this matchup. And it kind of, you know, it's an interesting, you know, conversation for Liv to have probably in her own head how she wants to play this game. Does she want to prioritize the ice Pokemon and go for a more balanced style? I think she should. That's how I would build this matchup. Or does she focus on the stall stuff and expect me to bring a team defensively equipped to deal with that, and maybe not necessarily prepared to deal with the ice core? I have a feeling she's going to prepare. Assume I'm going to be very prepared for the ice core, and she's going to still bring the ice core, because even when I prepare, it's going to be unbelievably broken in this matchup. So let's get into the team in no particular order this time. We're going to start with Diancie. So Diancie is Assault Vest here, Endeavor, Gyro Ball, Diamond Storm, and Moonblast. And the reason we have it as this Assault Vest set is Specs Kyurem. This is the only thing that can take hits on my team and do anything back. Like I'm not even like saying that to troll. Like, this is like dead serious. I can't do anything else about Specs Kyurem. Endeavor, what Endeavor does is it's a good way to put a lot of pressure once this gets low on the rest of the stall core while being a primary ice check. So Endeavor, it takes about, you know, mid 28%, I think, from most Specs Ice Beams that we'd expect to see. You take a few of those and start throwing Endeavors out into the late game. You know, stuff like, you know, Skarmory, Clefable, now suddenly just can't switch into half my team. Even the Kartana they can't switch into, depending on how much damage they take on other moves. And you really have to go max Sassy Assault Vest to even have a chance at living some hits here. Gyro Ball is another, just a way to eliminate Alola-Ninetales from the game. Diamond Storm, if we are going to attack the Kyurem, which we likely will in the early game, and Moonblast is just another general coverage move that Diancie gets that we can take advantage of in certain situations. But this is the main set here to deal with the ice types. It is a shelf life of being an Assault Vest Pokemon and not having recovery, but certainly I am trying to make sure this game does not go too long, because if it's going long, then that means Liv probably is in the driver's seat and will probably be winning. What a surprise! Heavy Duty Boots Tornadus T once again coming to the team. U-Turn, Hurricane, Sludge Wave, and Knockoff. We don't have a move to hit Skarmory on this, which is, I guess, kind of interesting. Maybe you might say. But usually, most of the time, we're trying to, going to be U-turning with this, knocking off. I expect Liv is going to prepare for Heat Wave and not use it as a primary check to this thing, or at least be very, willing to scout it. So, definitely going to prioritize, getting in Cinderace on Skarmory rather than using the Tornadus T to counteract the Skarmory here. Alright, I'm just making sure it's recording. So I think that's kind of my main plan with this Pokemon here. This is a Timid, actually, so we're going to try to be fast enough to deal with non-Scarf Starmie, because if we can U-turn or knock off a non-Scarf Starmie, then we are in a really, really good position that does a lot of damage, and then we can go into something. We don't really have great water switch-ins either, unfortunately, on this team, but we can be aggressive going to stuff like Dracozolt to gain some momentum that way. But yeah, basically, I mean, we can just also Hurricane it as well. So it's one of the best Stall Breakers in the game. This is what I said. I think that this is why I think she's going to focus a lot more on the Ice Core and play around those 3 Ice Pokemon to really take advantage of my team, because Torrent T is really, really good Stall Breaker. And see, your Clefable and stuff just don't really do much against it. And then here's the other side of the Stall Breaking Core, the Cinderace. So Taunt, U-Turn, Powerball, and Gunk Shot. None of the Stall Pokemon want to switch into this thing. Blissey, maybe. I could see Blissey potentially coming in maybe once or twice, but honestly, none of the Stall Pokemon want to take a single hit from this Pokemon. This is like the perfect revenge kill cleaner in this matchup. Taunt puts pressure on stuff like Clefable. Say Clefable comes in at full. We don't really want to Gunk Shot that too early. And maybe it does into a KO depending on, sets. We prevent, CMs from happening. We prevent hazards from going up from Skarmory, though it's likely we're likely going to kill it. We prevent stuff like Blissey from spamming T-Waves, and then we prevent stuff like Alola-Ninetales from using Aurora Veil. Honestly, this thing is no set. There's really nothing to switch into this team, on Liv's team for this Pokemon, except for Hyperior, which I think would be an interesting bring for Liv, but I don't know how I feel about that. At a certain point, you kind of have to run 6 Pokemon. There's so many good things that she has in the matchup that you can't really prepare for. You can't really have all of them. And I mean, we just did the 3 ice types where Hyperior now takes advantage of this, and then you just don't have any defenses to go back on. You probably have to run Skarmory. What's your 6 at that point? It's an interesting thing in this matchup where she has so many good options, but once you start defining the 6 outside of the ice types, my team kind of takes advantage of the rest of what's going on. Choice Scarf Cortana, what a surprise! It's coming back. Smart Strike, Knockoff, Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword. It is Adamant. I mean, we can't really outspeed Scarf Starmie. It's not going to happen. So we're just going to run as much bulk as we can in case we have to take a hit from Dracozolt for whatever reason. But I expect that's not going to be a problem. We're just going to outspeed it. It's set up to outspeed any slush rushing Arctozolt. So, I mean, this is a great way to clean out all of the Ice Core. Just demolishes Alola-Ninetales, demolishes the Arctozolt, and demolishes the Kyurem as well, especially with the Beast Boost on Kyurem especially. And then basically the only check that she has to this thing is the Skarmory. And as I said, Skarmory gets taken advantage of by stuff like, she might expect it to be taken advantage of by Torrent T, certainly by Cinderace, and then Dracozolt as well takes advantage of it, which is another thing. I just have a lot of good offensive pressure. I just can't switch it to Specs Kyurem in this matchup. Alright, Yachi Berry, Hippowdon. This is a lure here, so I want to run leftovers, but it was one of those things where it doesn't really... I don't want to say it doesn't really accomplish anything, but it doesn't really add any additional value. We're going to get to slack off against, some of the Stalmones anyway, so leftovers, not super important. And what is this thing switching onto physically anyway? Stuff like Hyperior, for example, and that's basically why we have Whirlwind here. So one of the things that Kaz ended my life with, and Kaz has been a great resource throughout, this entire season, as he is with a lot of people for building. And, he absolutely sent me to the Shadow Realm with the Rhyperior setup weakness policy set that took advantage of this Pokemon. So Whirlwind is a great way to prevent, stuff like that from happening, because I feel like that's, now whether she brings it or not, is to be seen. But that's one of the ways that she can take advantage of this matchup, and me trying to play around the Ice-type Pokemon and not be necessarily prepared for those secondary game plans. Stealth Rock, I think, is going to be the key to this matchup, though. While those, getting Skarmory in is going to be, big off of this, and getting in the Ice Pokemon is going to be big, I need Stealth Rocks up immediately, which is why I have the Oxy Berry. I need to take advantage of something early on, and Stealth Rocks puts pressure on a lot of those Ice Pokemon to prevent them from coming in regularly. So that's a Powdon, and then Life Orb, Dracozolt, Sandrush, Taunt on this one as well, just in case. It's a good thing to have it taunting on, say, something like Rhyperior, so it doesn't Rock Polish on me. But Bolt Beak, Dragon Claw, Earth Power, very, very standard, not much really to talk about here. It just Bolt Beaks the team, does a lot of damage. Dragon Claw puts pressure on the Kyurem specifically, so Kyurem just can't be like super defensive and try to switch into Bolt Beaks. It's gonna you have to have that there to make sure that threat is real, and Liv can't just like auto default to that play. So I mean, not much to really say about Dracozolt. Pretty standard set, and then that is the team we're going with today against Liv and her Old Dale folks home. I'm really excited for this game. I'm actually recording this 5 minutes before we're gonna play, so I think it's gonna be a really interesting game, and how these Pokemon interact, because it really depends on what 6 she brings. I think there's 5 that are going to be very, very good, and she probably should bring. But does that 6 create it? 5 plus 1 create a cohesive team? I'm not entirely sure, honestly. I don't know if Rhyperior, the 3 Ice Pokemon, and Skarmory with maybe like a Clefable or something. I don't know if that's really going to get the job done against something like Skarmory. It's Kartana. You're really relying on that Skarmory to do a lot of heavy lifting against a team with Torrentee and the Cinderace, which is, it's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So let's get into the battle. We're actually playing on Wi-Fi today. Believe it or fucking not. We're playing on Wi-Fi. I'm playing on my own card. So I hope you guys enjoy the battle. Alright, we are here with the battle against Liv. There is a Clefable behind the screen. Alright, so this is the team. She brought Clefable, Kyurem, Rhyperior, Buzzwole, Arctozolt, and the Alola-Ninetales. So the Skarmory did not come, which means that the Cinderace basically wins the game, and so does the Kartana, basically at this point. Now, Buzzwole can take some hits, so that is something we have to be mindful of. But as we did predict in the team builder, she kind of was forced into, she brought the triple ice, but how do you build a team around the rest of that? And she decided to elect to not go with Skarmory, which I think is going to be a big issue for her in this game. So Clefable, I'm going to write everything down. Dude, look at my shitty player card. You can tell I haven't beaten the game yet. I am recording? Okay. So she's going to send out the Kyurem first. Now, as I said in the team builder, we are max assault vested. Diancie, so we're just going to switch U-turn into that immediately. If this is Scarf, then we want that information anyway. She's not going to Scarf drop a Draco. That doesn't make a lot of sense. That doesn't make sense as a set against this team, realistically. So I'm willing to just take the U-turn here just to preserve momentum. And then we can start the churn of momentum against this team. Because with the fact that she doesn't have Skarmory, like her ways to switch into things include Rhyperior and include Clefable. I mean, once those things start taking chip, then Kartana it's just a field. Well, not Rhyperior, but Kartana kind of has a field day. Alright, so let's see. She's taking her time to think. So she stays in, we go hard Diancie. Because that's just kind of how the team was set up. Alright, so she stays in. That does a lot of damage. What the hell? This thing is weak. So this might be fast specs, is what I would expect. And then we have Assault Vest Diancie, specifically for this situation right here. And we'll see how much the Ice Beam does. This will kind of give us the gauge on the set. This is choice specs. Okay, yeah. So doing 50%. This is choice specs. About modest choice specs Kyurem. So we can take advantage of this and just get aggressive again. There's really no reason for her to stay in, so we can just double back into the Cinderace here. Because there's no reason for her to stay in and take a Diamond Storm. And even if we get the prediction wrong, we get the momentum up. As you can see there, yeah, she makes the switch here into the Clefable. Now, this one's interesting. This is an interesting turn here against Clefable. So Clefable is the answer to Diancie, which is good because we do have Endeavor. So we're going to want to deal damage to that later. Now, the question is do I want to taunt or just U-turn off? If I U-turn, I can plus see the Pokemon. So I can U-turn. I can go into something like Powdon here. That's not really that good. I can go into something like Torn. But I'm just going to taunt here right off the bat. Prevent T-Wave. I can take really any hit that this thing wants to do. Like prevent, early setup or T-Wave being put pressure on my team. You see here, yeah, now she's just going to softball. She wants to predict and take advantage of that, of a Gunk Shot here and predict that. I'm not going to give her the opportunity to figure out if I have it or not, and she's just going to withdraw here. So I'm in an amazing position in my eyes with how I see this game going. This game is going like phenomenally right now. Rocky Helmet, that's perfect to know. So this is just defensive Rhyperior. So I can just kind of come into Kartana here. So Kartana invites Buzzwole in, which is fine. I can use this as an opportunity to set up Stealth Rocks. So it's not a weakness policy setup set. So I don't mind setting up Stealth Rocks here. That's probably a thing I might want to do. I kind of just like going into Kartana here. We kind of have to keep this pressure up. Doesn't have an item for this to take advantage of it. So let's just keep the pressure up. We have all of the momentum right now. Let's not lose any more of it. Let's not lose a single bit of momentum here. So Buzzwole comes in more than likely, I would expect. So let's see. If she goes into Buzzwole, I'm just going to come into Hippowdon here. One, I can scout if she wants to stay in with this thing, and two, I can take on the Buzzwole pretty effectively with Whirlwind, and I can take this as an opportunity to set up Stealth Rocks. It's a good way to scout the item in particular, and yeah, she's going to switch out. And there is the Buzzwole. So now the question is what happens from here? So the Ice, I'm expecting there to be a switch here into the Alola-Ninetales. So I can just go for the Stealth Rock here. I think Stealth Rock is just the safest play. I think if she sets up a substitute or something, I can just Whirlwind this out. So let's just get up our Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rock's going to put a lot of pressure. She stays in a Toxic. Wow, that's terrible. I actually that miss in particular is going to be really bad because now I get free rocks and I don't take any damage. So that's actually really unfortunate for Liv here, given how well this game has gone for me up to this point. The fact that happened is really unfortunate. Now, I want a Whirlwind just to push this out, but I'm concerned with the risk of her switching to Alola-Ninetales and Arctozolt coming out for 0. That would be rather trash. That would suck so hard. So I think I'm just going to EQ, because if she goes Alola-Ninetales then, and eats an Earthquake, that's just, she takes Earthquake plus damage. I'm gonna let her hit me with the Toxic here. This time, this Buzzwole is gonna start taking some chip though, which is good. Which is something that I really need, probably for the late game. I probably could have predicted that and got aggressive with Kartana, but that doesn't accomplish anything because I'm just coming back into this Pokemon. So I'm pretty sure this thing gets Roost. I should probably check that on the thing. But I can just go... does he have a switch into Earthquake? Alola-Ninetales. Thing is, I feel like an Ice-type Pokemon is coming in here at some point, so I have to get aggressive. I can go into something like the Cinderace here. Cinderace is not really punished, but I'm just going to keep Earthquaking. And she's just going to keep clicking Toxic. I'm already poisoned though, so that doesn't, particularly matter. Keep getting damage off here. Yeah, so this thing does have Roost. So this is the turn. If she's going to click, if she has Roost, she's going to click it. So we weakened her to that point, which is good. I am going to run out of sand here, but the sequencing of this turn is going to allow me to bring in Torty here for free. I am a minute behind, by the way, so that is something to keep in mind. So she's going to roost, I'm assuming, here on this. Okay, she's going to keep clicking Toxic. I mean, that's fine, too. I'm not really concerned with this thing getting Toxic. Once again, with the team that she has, realistically, we're going to win the late game anyway, with the combination of Cinderace and Kartana. So that's not something I'm super concerned about. I can just go for a Hurricane here. Hurricane's pretty free against this team. I could go for Sludge Wave, but I do want to keep the pressure up with the Hurricane. This can't really be Copa Berry and survive anything now that we've done a lot of chip. And if it gets forced out and doesn't get to roost, then that's even better for Kartana specifically. So in comes the Rhyperior. So bulky Rock and Helmet. It takes some rocks, and now it starts taking some damage. So it's definitely going to want to... So I can U-turn off this for free and not take and get it all back for Regenerator. So we're just going to U-turn off this and go back into Hippowdon. Because if it stays in, we just go into Hippowdon, yeah. So and we're going to get on this back Regenerator. So this is wow. Okay, I got to credit. I was going to say she's got a stall team. Why none of all of my attacks doing like 1,000,000 damage for zero reason? And then we come right back in and we set up the sand, which is key. I want to get a slack off here on this turn, just so I can get back to full health. Because it seems like Buzzwole is her primary answer to this Pokemon here. As of right now, Rest. Interesting. Not sure how I feel about Rest. Rhyperior, I feel like I can, it's not, it could be Rest. It can't be Resto Chesto because of the... It can't be Resto Chesto because of the Rocky Helmet. So we're just going to slack off here. If she goes into Buzzwole, that's fine. Yep, Buzzwole comes out here. So we know it's Rest, Rhyperior with Rocky Helmet. So it's taken a lot of damage right here. I could have Whirlwinded there, kind of expecting this to come in and force more pressure on it. But now she really has to click a move here, I think. So, the question is, if she can roost here, but that lets my Torrentee come in for free. We definitely do not want to attack this. We're just going to go back into Torn. I feel like every switch here that's happening so far is at the first part advantageous for me, because the more damage that gets done to her team, I can take advantage of. With something like Kartana, where she doesn't really have, she has Choice Specs Kyurem, which can take advantage of, but I still have the Diancie in the back that takes full advantage of that. So I'm going to U-turn here. I'm expecting the Rhyperior to come back in. I attacked the face of this last time. That seems like a reasonable play for me to do again. And I have the backup option of just going straight into Hippowdon. So, yep, and in comes this. And now we get our first opportunity to bring Kartana in on something to do a lot of damage. As we know, this is Rocky Helmet, but at this point, what's switching into Leaf Blade? Realistically, what's switching into Leaf Blade at this point? Not a lot. Not a lot's coming in on this Leaf Blade. The question is the Buzzwole can come in. Do I want to account for that Buzzwole switch? This thing is rested, and at the end of the day, I kind of okay with doing that. Let's just knock here, force pressure on that Buzzwole. Continue to put pressure on, the rest of her team. We don't want that Buzzwole coming in and doing some shenanigans. So let's just get this knockoff here. We can go right back and Hippowdon after. Keeps taking rocks damage. And that is an item gone. The Coba Berry. Yep, that's kind of what we expected there. The Coba Berry. And we can get the sand back up here. Now, the question is do we expect a double switch here? I'm expecting Fighting Move to be the obvious play. I've kind of gone Torn every time on this, so I'm just going to go into... going to kind of go back into the Hippowdon here. I expect her to roost, to be honest, but I do want to get the sand back up. Yeah, might have been more worthwhile and aggressive to go into the Torn again. But I want to continue to have sand up to pressure, getting Arctozolt, or getting Dracozolt in at basically any time of asking. So Buzzwole is Roost Toxic. Question is, what does she want to do here now? It seems pretty obvious to me she doesn't have an attack to hit the Torrentee, so I'm just going to go into that now. Yeah, and she has Drain Punch as her way to deal damage. That does a lot still. And now that she doesn't have Koba Berry, we're basically in a position now that we can, you know, Hurricane. Her switch-in is definitely still the Rhyperior. But we can Hurricane and then, you know, hard into the Kartana here. So I guess the question is do I want to do anything different? I'm just going to Hurricane this. Because now that she's taking, you know, a lot of damage here, I mean, this is still going to do, this still does a lot and still puts her in a potential bad spot. I am at the point now where I can't U-turn off this. I have to just go hard into Kartana because of my regenerator situation. I could go hard into something else, but I feel like hard Kartana is, you know, still the safest play. I have a lot of bulk in this because we're Choice Scarf. I think I'm about 140 something. And now we can continue to put pressure on this team. And I can start Smart Striking here with the HP that she's at. So we're just gonna Smart Strike this. She doesn't have Sleep Talk, so this feels pretty free to me. And now the Sandstorm goes down. Alright, so Roos is probably coming out here. So once again, we're kind of in a little bit of a ticking time bomb here with this situation. So I'm gonna go hard into. I'm gonna go back into Hippowdon here. This game is getting really tough because the Buzzle specifically does a really good job with the Rhyperior defensively counteracting my team with how it's set up right now. And I don't really have the time to sell this at a Roost, so. And she's gonna Drain Punch here. That's fine. Drain Punch is kind of free. And I probably should have taken advantage of that, but you know, the Roost has kind of been her default play this entire time. Now the question is do I go hard into the Dracozolt? I still don't think so. I'm just gonna hop straight into the Tornadus T here. So now we're at the point that I don't think she can actually switch in with the Rhyperior on the Torn T that effectively right now. And that's why I actually want to attack with Hurricane here against that Rhyperior. I'm sure everybody's watching this has been very enticed by this defensive nonsense gameplay where we just switch out a shit ton of times. Alright, avoid the attack. That's fine. That happens. We play around that situation. So now she has one more sleep turn, I'm pretty sure. This is a really dicey situation. I think there was a turn in there that I should have taken advantage. I should have taken advantage of the Buzzle and attacked it. But unfortunately I did not. This thing is in range now though, so now I actually have to take advantage of this Buzzle at some point and actually put, you know, the remaining pressure on it. If she stays in attacks, that's fair play to her. That's probably a good play, but I don't expect her to. She hasn't done it yet this game. And, you know, missing that last Hurricane is going to be, you know, a little annoying because it would have meant that Rhyperior is basically down now and can't actually come in on this thing. But, you know, it is what it is. We deal with that. As you can see there, she goes into the Alola-Ninetales. She realizes this now as basically kind of what has happened in this game. And now this Alola-Ninetales is going to take a decent amount of damage from this Hurricane. Wow, it's almost dead. That's actually insane. So right here, this is interesting in kind of what I can do. I think I'm going to go straight into Diancie here. Diancie is one of my best, you know, answers to the ice types, and I don't want to really risk the speed here. If she stays if she switches, then we know we're faster, but you know, if something like Aurora Veil comes in, she just goes for the Blizzard, so it makes me believe that she is faster. We chew that and oh, she crits. Okay, that's, you know, a little unfortunate there. But we know we live this and we still live one Specs Ice Beam. The question is does she want to switch off this? She kind of has to, I think. There's no real reason for her to stay in. And now we can use this as an opportunity to attack. So I can switch. What does she want to switch into this? Probably Rhyperior. I can't attack the Rhyperior here. I feel like she's gonna have to preserve this. I feel like I have to get aggressive here. Yeah, there's no way that she stays in with that. And then the Rhyperior comes in. Perfect. And so now Rhyperior comes in, and now once again it's in that range, in that dangerous situation where now it can't take 2 Hurricanes after Stealth Rocks. And now the question is does Liv elect to stay in as a result of that? Does Liv decide to sack it off? And I don't think she does. I'm going to take that as an opportunity to get in the Hippowdon and get this hail away. And now she basically doesn't have hail the rest of the game because she can't come in on Stealth Rocks anymore. And now the Rhyperior is out, yeah. So Rhyperior, in this game situation now, I think Rhyperior is almost dead. You know, it's basically dead. She has to, you know, bring it in, you know, in a certain situation to get that health back. I do have to take this as an opportunity to slack off, though. I do need to get this health back to preserve my Weather Setter. Man, this is a crazy, crazy game as she just goes for the Roost. This would have been a turn, I think, if she wanted to get aggressive to go into the Rhyperior to get that rest off. I would have thought that would have been a good play to make there and take advantage of the fact that Hippo's not going to be able to kill from that range, especially with the sand up and the fact that hail is gone. Now the question is, what do I do from here? I could prevent everything from coming in. If I Whirlwind, I actually prevent everything from... You know, Whirlwind I think is my safest bet. If she tries to get Rhyperior in and do something, then that's good. I could bring in something, hopefully take some Stealth Rocks. Hopefully it takes some Stealth Rock damage. And then I can start getting, you know, some free momentum here. And then the only thing that's bad is if Kyurem comes in. Everything else I think is really good for me. I mean, that's actually kind of really bad too. Because now she can just rest up on this. Alright, I kind of don't like that play. I mean, how it turned out, obviously, you know, is going to, you know, change my opinion on the play, but certainly don't think it was good. I'm just going to hard into Kartana here and keep up this pressure. Whirlwind was dicey as a play, I think, because I'm back at this. I'm back in the same position, and I gave this an opportunity now to heal with rest. The question is now, does she want to Earthquake? I can't live Earthquakes with my Kartana. I am bulky enough. I think this is a risk that I think I want to take here. I am faster, so that doesn't tell me anything if she switched out or not. And she's just going to rest. Okay. So now we're back in the same situation we were fucking before, where nothing is really getting accomplished here. And now we just double again. But we're going to change what we double into here. We're going to double into Cinderace. We're going to kind of give her a different look here. And then the Buzzy Wall comes out. And now the sand subsides. So the question is now that the sand subsided, I've gone in every time the sand has subsided, I've gone into the Pokemon. I've gone into Hippowdon. So I'm just going to Powerball here and make a prediction here. The Rhyperior was kind of obvious. It takes some chip, which is nice. So now the question here is, do we want to continue to be aggressive and Powerball? So every time this has come in, I've gone into the Kartana, and I've switched out every time of Buzzwole. This thing is under rest. I'm going to Powerball again, because this thing is under rest. And I think she might want to get aggressive here, because she does not. I could see this as the opportunity where she takes to do it, but because this is certainly not doing enough. I just want to see if she's going to make that play. I still have so much timer. I still have enough timer left, I think, to get this done. Yep, she's just gonna stay in. It'd be interesting if she stayed in and rock moved here on my Torn T. The problem with this situation now is she's made the same play every time. And now, once that starts to happen, you almost get in your head of when she's going to deviate from the game plan that she's been enacting. And I don't know if she will, is the problem. At this point, I don't think I can predict that she will. So I'm just going to hurricane this. As I said, my team is really good against these, stall teams. I can, infinitely switch out and deal damage, and, I'm not in risk of really being PP stalled by anything. But the problem is that the timer, unlike Showdown, it makes it so that is a risk this game. Fuck, that is so goddamn... Oh my god, the confusion. That is crazy. This is an interesting spot. Do I attack this again and try to deal the rest of the damage? Because this is basically dead. If I trade this for this and this is dead, if it's confusion, I can't really deal with Buzzwole effectively if I do this though. This feels like an unnecessary risk to take for this situation. But I still, you know what? This is where I'm going to take my time. Because I still have the Cinderace, I still have Dracozolt, fuck it. I think this is the opportunity to force her to attack. Because if that's tough. I mean, that's tough. Oh, that shit's tough. Oh, she rested anyway, so we didn't get punished. That's tough. That's a tough miss to take there, unfortunately. And now I have to just speed demon this game. Man, having high jump kick I think would have been really effective on the what is it called? On the Cinderace, I think in hindsight, rather than the Gunk Shot, but so now this is continuing to take damage, so I do need to continue to force this to actually take damage here. So now we're gonna Hurricane just in the face of it. At this point, the commentary is going to get really quiet because I have to basically speed through all my turns here to get this done in time. Because I still think I'm in a really good spot time-wise with the Kartana. I have enough time to click all my moves. And I feel like this is... The problem is, I feel like this is a game I win with infinite time to actually make moves. But even under the situation... Okay, now I'm just going to double here. My win con is basically preventing the Buzzwole, I think, from getting any health, because then I can just win. I think that's kind of how I have to play this, is, assume Buzzwole always comes in, always put the pressure on it. So I can get aggressive here and go right back into Kartana and pressure this, but she might take that as an opportunity to attack, so we just Hurricane. We still have 9 PP, we're not in risk of that at all. Yep, that's fine. We go straight back into Kartana. Yep, we missed, that's okay. Given this, we're going to U-turn. We're going to U-turn to protect against a hard Buzzwole switch here. We can gain all this damage back off the Regenerator. That's the only deviation that we're really going to make from what we've been doing. I feel like I could have done this 5 minutes earlier, and I didn't take the opportunity I had when I had it. Expecting her to make a different play. Okay, it's going to rock last knee. That's fine. As I said, I do have a lot of bulk on this particular Pokemon. She does have to switch out here, so I'm going to predict. I think at this point, do I want to change how I'm playing? Smart Strike puts pressure on. I have a minute left. She probably comes into Buzzwole. Yeah, so she goes into Buzzwole here, tries to Roost. The Smart Strike is going to put pressure, force her into that Roost. She does take, a good amount of Stealth Rocks here. This might actually kill from this range. Yeah, so it's going to. Alright, perfect. We found our opening. Holy fuck! It took so long to find an opening through this team. But we finally took our chance when we got it. In comes that Alola-Ninetales. That's kind of to be expected. We are Choice Scarf here, though. And we are set up. If it's fucking Choice Scarf... If it's Choice Scarf, what's it called? Arctozolt, then I'm going to be heated. But I'm not... We're not losing to that. We're not losing that today. We are certainly not losing that today. The Clefairy comes in. Interesting. So at +1, I definitely don't kill this. So we're just going to go straight into the... We're going to go straight into the Diancie here. The reason we're going into Diancie is we do have Endeavor, so if she sets up with Calm Mind, we put a lot of damage in, and then we just come straight back in with the, what's it called? Yeah, the Flamethrower. We come straight back in to the Kartana after. So I just want to get an Endeavor off here on this move real quick. Get as much damage as we can elsewhere. She just Calm Minds. This is a perfect scenario. Perfect scenario. We have the Diamond Storm as well to take advantage of this. And now we just go right into... we can attack this again. She's basically forced. We'll just Diamond Storm this. We gotta force her into an attack here. 49 fucking seconds. Holy shit. Holy shit, we are in a bad situation time-wise. And we take the hit. Diamond Storm comes out. And Clefairy is down. And now the Scarf Kartana wins this game from here. Oh my god, this is terrifying. Dude, I have 49 seconds too. I might still lose this game, truthfully. I have to sack this immediately here. That's the only play that I have. Alright, 2-second play. We have Moonblast. So we force her into the Drain Punch. That is perfect. I clicked off Buzzwole. Didn't think she had it for some reason. But that's fine. Now Scarf Kartana gets to come in and click the Smart Strike in this thing's face. And then we'll get a Beast Boost off this as well. This thing is going to Beast Boost defense, but the defense boost does not matter. And we go straight into Kartana here. The stress is high! Fuck! Thank God I am not monetized, so I don't have to worry about swearing this entire video. Now Buzzwole's down. That's the third Pokemon to go. We're Beast Boosting the attack. And I'm pretty sure that this is a good game from here. Don't think Kyurem or Arctozolt want to deal with this situation. Oh my god, what a game. What a game, man. I love games like this. I love just like sitting here and thinking through these complicated sequences of stall turns. It's just so much fun. This is pure Pokemon. And this is what I said, if I have infinite time, as I said, I feel confident to win this. But the way I had to think and play through this matchup with not unlimited time kind of made it a little bit of a problem. I'm going to assume it's not Choice Scarf, or it's just going to take advantage of the... Yep, and then Smart Strike is going to kill this. And there it is. Good game to live. Oh my god. What a game this was. What a game to watch. I hope everybody who showed up to watch this was thoroughly entertained, because I was thoroughly entertained playing this. I don't think I've played Live before, not that I can remember any time recently. But wow, she played this game very, very well, and she took advantage of the fact that I'm not an experienced Wi-Fi player, I think, and I'm not used to playing under this sort of time pressure, and I think she played her team very, very well. It was not entirely what I expected. In terms of, I thought Skarmory was going to be a really good bring, but the combination of Buzzwole and Rhyperior worked really, really well in this game. But it just got to the point where Torrentee plus Kartana just wear that down, you know, over time too much. And Scarf Kartana in the end, without a Skarmory to deal with it, kind of just gets to clean up house eventually. So good game to live. 5-0. We go to 3-0 on the season. And the first time I played Wi-Fi in God knows how long, but wow, what a game. And there it is. That is the end of week 3. We take a big 5-0 win against Liv to put us into a tie with, I think Jesse is tied for first place as the time we're recording this with me, and I think Aquarius is also 3-0 as well. So we have 3 players at 3-0 at the top of the table. and a lot to look forward to. It's going to be a tight race for that first seed. Not that the first seed really matters, but it feels good to be first place after playoffs, or after the regular season, rather, going into playoffs. So we're going to be gunning for that now. My goal for this season, honestly, was to make playoffs and then figure it out from there. You know, once you're in playoffs, anything can happen. But with this 3-0 start, I think it's time to reposition our expectations and our goals, and let's push for that first seed come the end of the regular season. Good game to live, though. I think she played this game well. I think, we talked about the game after. There's a lot in these very, very long stall games that there's so many decision points to make. It's hard to get them right all the time. And I think, maybe recognized maybe the Alola-Ninetales switch was maybe, I think, her undoing here. I think with the timer I had left, I think 30 seconds at the end of the game, if I had to make one or two more decisions, I probably end up losing that game, I think. So we took, they're given 10 minutes, you might as well use all 10 minutes to your advantage. But yeah, she played a really good game, I think. Make sure to check out her channel as well. I assume if you're watching this video all the way through, you probably know her channel as well. She does really good Draft League videos, and I think the type of way she does the videos are not videos I've seen in Draft League a lot before, and I really do enjoy them. So I do urge you, if you haven't already, to check her channel out. And if you haven't subscribed or liked the video, make sure to do that as well. Would really appreciate that. Week 4, we play against T-Row. I think he is 2-0 as of the time I'm recording this video, so I don't know if he's won or not yet, as I'm recording this on the Saturday before. So games are not all done yet, but definitely an opponent who either will be tied with us, or if we lose, we'll be tied with them. So definitely a matchup that has a lot of implications early on in the standings, as the table starts to take form here, 3 to 4 weeks in. 4-0 would be the dream scenario, I think, in my eyes, with how I see my schedule going the rest of the way. And you know what? Every week, just treat every week like it's the most important week, and I think you will do well in the Draft League at the end of the day. So that is all I have for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next upload. And as always, have a wonderful day.